Would you give me 1 minute?
You know that I can't do that. That's not how I was.
Well, I'm going to have to get something on.
Violence broke out in a Michigan courtroom where former U.S. gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar's victims spoke out.
Today, the father of 3 victims lashed out at Nassar after the judge denied one of his requests for sentencing. And Jade Cunningham shows us how people are responding to the father's actions.
When I had to hear what was said in those statements, and I have to look over at Larry Nassar shaking his head, that's when I lost control.
It's video that went viral within minutes.
I would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
Randall Margrave spent days hearing powerful statements of sexual abuse by Nassar, including from each of his 3 daughters, when he says he lost control.
Well, I'm going to have to get something on.
All over social media, people reacted, many applauding his actions, one saying, "My hero," another writing, "I can't imagine how he must feel having to look at a person who did these horrible things to his daughters."
I do not usually handle myself that way.
Emotional reactions like this have happened before, some more extreme, like in 1984 at the Baton Rouge airport when Gary Plausch shot and killed his son's accused molester point blank. Plausch went to trial but was acquitted of charges.
As a parent, what you try to do is protect your child.
Howard Osofsky, chairman of LSU's psychiatry department, spoke on today's courtroom incident, saying he doesn't condone the father's actions, but that we should put ourselves in his shoes.
As a parent, how enraging that is. Obviously, they didn't know they were bringing their children to be violated. You're startled. You're fearful for your children. You're fearful for what they had to endure.
1 minute.
Margraves was quickly handcuffed. He later apologized and was released.
I'm not advocating that everyone should do that. I feel very remorseful.
Saying the emotional case got the best of him. Jade Cunningham, Eyewitness News.
Margraves was released without fine or punishment. Nassar could press charges, but in this situation, it's likely a prosecutor wouldn't go forward with it.
Now, if you are a victim of sexual abuse or a parent of someone sexually abused, resources are available at the New Orleans Family Justice Center. Their number, 866-9554.
And just to recap, if you haven't heard today, the groundhog up in Pennsylvania saw his shadow. That means 6 more weeks of winter. It was cloudy and snowy there in Pennsylvania. And T-Boy, our nutria, also saw his shadow, and it was cloudy here this morning. So both the forecasters saying 6 more weeks of winter, so we'll just have to wait and see. As you look at temperatures right now, 40s on the North Shore, right around 50, 51 on the South Shore, so a little bit on the chilly side. Going into tomorrow, we're going to see a few clouds starting to increase, so it's going to be mostly cloudy to cloudy. Chance of rain about 20% at noontime, and then after 3 o'clock, I think your rain chance at 40% as we'll start to see some of this moisture move into our area. It's possible that your daytime parades may get by without any rain at all. Family Grove, the evening hours is when it looks like we might start to see some rain. After 6 o'clock, that rain chance does go up, and that'll continue through the evening hours. So Family Grove, evening parade Saturday, you might want to plan on having some rain gear with you. Then overnight, there could even be a few storms as an area of low pressure moves across the area. By 6 a.m., still a few lingering showers, and also by 9 o'clock, about a 30% chance until about 9 or 10 o'clock. And then it should be dry the rest of the day, but we may not see that much sunshine. As we look at the GFS model, here's noontime tomorrow, still not showing a whole lot around our area, but you can see by the evening time frame, as Precision Cast showed, rain starting to move on into the area through the overnight hours, into the morning hours on Sunday, and then maybe even lingering a little longer till about noontime or so. European model shows that by noontime tomorrow, also a few showers around. As I mentioned, there may be a couple of showers around, but then you can see by 6 o'clock, moisture starting to move into our area through the evening and overnight hours, and even into the morning hours on Sunday, but then out of here by noontime. So it's just a matter of timing. We're going to see some rain move in, but it's just a matter of when it moves on into the area. So as you take a look at what's going on for tomorrow, as I mentioned, 10% for 9 o'clock, Noontime, 20%, 40% by 3 o'clock. Again, those aren't washout percentages, but there may be a couple around. Hopefully we can get by the daytime parades without much rain at all. Temperatures will be in the 50s for tomorrow. Then as our models showed you, rain chances increasing through the evening hours and especially overnight, as temperatures for the evening parades will stay in the 50s. So that 20% chance on Sunday, maybe for a lingering shower around the noontime frame. More rain coming Wednesday during the day. There may be a 40% chance for some lingering rain at the beginning of Wednesday's parades. Dry and chilly for Thursday, cool and dry for Friday evening's parades, and then another system will be coming on the weekend. Will it be late enough Saturdays that most of the parades will be okay for the evening hours? But it does look like Sunday there may be some rain around. Again, timing on that will still change. And then looks like Lundi Gras and Mardi Gras, we will have some chances of rain, but it could be mild. Right now it looks like we might see some 60s on Lundi Gras and even low 70s on Mardi Gras. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But again, they still will change as the models continue to get a better idea the closer we get to each one of those days. 65 was a high today after a morning low of 49. We did have some rain from last night and early this morning's showers that came on through. Records 81 and 19 on this day. So tonight, as temperatures start to fall on the North Shore, we may see some mid-30s and some frost on the North Shore, low to mid-40s on the South Shore. As you look at your pinpoint 7-day forecast, 50s tomorrow, 60s on Sunday, mid-60s and dry on Monday. Then by Tuesday, a 30% chance of rain returns. Rain chance higher during the day on Wednesday, hopefully out of here by the time Wednesday evening's parades get going. And you can see dry weather returns Thursday and Friday.
Carl, thank you. Last night, eyewitness investigator Mike-Perlstein revealed how 2 Jefferson Parish School Board members spent time in a luxury hotel for a conference in New Orleans.
And with those expenses now under scrutiny, Mike started calculating expenses for the full 9-member board. And now our findings are adding fuel to a hot debate.
The Roosevelt is considered one of New Orleans' top luxury hotels. When 2 Jefferson Parish School Board members attended a conference there last year, taxpayers paid the bill. Cedric Floyd and Ricky Johnson each used public money for 3-night stays, plus valet parking, despite living only miles away in Jefferson. But turns out that was just one conference in a busy itinerary. Through a public records request, we compiled all individual travel expenses for Jefferson Parish School Board members since 2015. We found trips to conferences throughout the country, including $1,000 flights on expensive business class, and some hotel rooms topping $400, even $500. The 2 top spenders, Floyd and Johnson.
But it's certainly an easily abused element of the job, which I think is what we're seeing here.
So is this abuse?
I would say certainly it is.
The disparity between the frequent flyers and the least traveled board members was a gaping 17-to-1 margin, with Floyd and Johnson spending more than $35,000 each over the 3 years, and the bottom 4 spenders at less than $2,600 each. That's a pretty wide disparity.
It is. It is. That's disheartening. This is government. This is government using citizens' money to look like a travel club.
Floyd and Johnson say their travel to conferences is worth the expense, saying the information they gain has been valuable.
I've been places, Utah, Arizona, Boston, and every time I go, it's to make Jefferson Parish better.
Johnson spent the most on individual travel over the 3-year period. His other trips include Miami, Denver, Omaha, Nashville, Washington, D.C., and Huntington, West Virginia. He said that as a newly elected board member in his 3rd year, he needed to quickly learn the ropes.
I'm new, and I took this on a project to learn, to know what I need to do.
This is an absurdity.
Larry Dale spent just over $2,000 over the same period. Dale was especially critical of board members who flew business class, which sometimes costs more than twice as much as a coach ticket.
Using citizens' money to upgrade to business class, a public servant, there's something wrong there.
Marion Benura had the 3rd highest expense total over the period at more than $22,000. Records show that Marion Benura flew business class a few times after he was first elected to the board in 2014. But he said he stopped when he found out about the added cost.
My first year, I didn't know that I could get, I thought it was just we had to take the business flight. Come to find out, we didn't need that.
But 17-year board veteran Cedric Floyd continues to use the upgrade. He said he wasn't aware of the perk.
Well, I'm saying that I don't do my own booking.
But Floyd is very aware of the disparity in expenses among board members. In fact, the current spending levels began when Floyd took over as board president in 2015 and marshaled enough votes to lift a cap on conference attendance. Here's Floyd at a 2016 board meeting in which he helped shoot down a proposal to scale back travel.
Some people don't travel, some people do, and it's within the budget.
Numbers from the school system's budget office show otherwise. While $40,000 was budgeted for board travel in fiscal 2016, the amount spent that year was almost $52,000.
These numbers show that you've exceeded your budget.
What I'm saying is this. Nobody has indicated to me, Chief Financial Officer, that we had overrun the budget.
Floyd said there's a more serious problem than blowing the budget. He says the two least traveled board members are in violation of this state law by not logging at least 6 hours of annual training. The Louisiana School Boards Association website keeps track of board members' hours. It shows that Larry Dale logged 0 hours in 2015, while Mark Morgan missed the mark in 2016 and 2017.
I saw that Larry Dale and Mark Morgan have not fulfilled their responsibility under revised statute 17:53 in terms of having yearly hours of 6 hours.
Clearly there is not only a gap in travel spending by members of this board, but also a gap in philosophy. Members on both sides of this debate have vowed to formally raise the issue at future meetings.
Does there need to be a meeting of the minds on what a reasonable amount should be?
I look forward to that debate when it happens.
Mike-Perlstein, Eyewitness News.
Larry Dale, a 7-year veteran of the board, did not make his state mandated conference hours in 2015, saying, quote, "Maybe I did miss a few hours and make up what I can." Board President Mark Morgan also acknowledged falling short on his hours, but said, quote, "I certainly don't believe that the law anticipated the large amount of travel by some of our board members."